Hello, everyone. Welcome to Five Count. I'm Jack Edwards here, and I'm flying solo tonight. George has a little business to take care of, so we're hoping he can join us. A little bit of an emergency there in Dallas, so we're hoping he can join us. But with me, I have a certifiable legend from his palatial estate in New Gimmicks, New Mexico, where he is the only member of the New Gimmicks, New Mexico Sports
Right.
Hall of Fame, a former Canadian heavyweight champion and tag team champion. He is the man, the myth, the legend, Tornado. Tornado, thanks for joining us again. We appreciate it. Or I appreciate it.
Greatest athlete, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Just like Iron Mike.
That's right.
So how are Tornado? Obviously, we've been doing a lot of stuff with Rock Solid. Just tell people about where they can watch us, because I even told George, even in Texas, you can watch us now.
Fantastic. Yeah, we got a deal now with a company. It's a streaming service, and the app is called Watchy. You can go to any app store. You can go to Google, whatever the hell it's called. I'm a caveman, so I don't really know what it's called. But anyways, you can download it to your TV, to your phone, to any device, any smart device. And it's Rock Solid TV. And we have our own streaming service, and it's amazing. We're adding new footage to it all the time, and eventually we'll be going live on it, broadcasting live, doing our shows live to Watchy. So, yeah, man, please enjoy. It's a great thing for us.
Yeah, it's super exciting. It's great for us, and we do. I think we really do put on in Canada, without a doubt, the best product. But it's different than a lot of the stuff that's on that wrestling today. So I think it's something that people, especially fans of classic wrestling, will certainly enjoy.
Oh, for sure, man. And the whole deal is I wouldn't leave my palatial estate here in New Gimmicks for nothing, right? So of course I go and get in the limo, and 17 hours later I'm at the show. So it's perfect.
Yeah. Who drives the limo?
My dog, he's blind. Blind Murphy, the dog. He's
I
good.
thought it. Yeah. Oh,
I had a chimp, but the dog fired the chimp. So
um. So we got Tornado tonight here. We love having Tornado on because he's been in wrestling since I think
75
he
years.
wrestled. Yeah, I think he wrestled Methuselah, or I think he wrestled Lincoln on the White House lawn.
Yeah.
I'm pretty certain.
Put him over. I jobbed.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
But we always have different things we're talking about, and one of the things that we have been chatting about, I know George and I, is like different finishing moves. And you obviously are a big, wrestling history buff. So what are your if you like? I'm going to ask you, kind of your top five finishing moves are, and kind of the guy maybe who does them. Like, I mean, because
Sure.
some finishing moves are done by a lot of people, but like when if you think of, is there one, when you think of a certain finishing move, I'm sure you attach to a wrestler. So start with hit it. Who are your guys?
My number one finishing move of all time in pro wrestling is the pile driver. Because when done
Yeah.
correctly, it's the end of the line. So you look at all the greats, from Paul Orndorff's beautiful pile driver to The Undertaker, of course. Dynamite Kid had a hell of a pile driver.
Davey Boy too.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing, but Bret used to throw the odd one. Bret Hart used to throw the odd one in there.
Yeah, I think I think Jake O'Reilly, who is obviously the current master of the pile driver, or one of them, he always says Bret Hart's is one of the best pile drivers.
Yeah, Jake O'Reilly's got probably the best pile driver going right now. And I'll tell you, the biggest thing is that when I watch television and I see a pile driver, it doesn't seem to finish the guy off. But when Jake O'Reilly does it, so in my mind, they don't know what they're doing. So for a couple of $1,000, I'll train you and show you how to do the pile driver correctly.
Because like in a lot of some of the shows, there's like Canadian destroyers, 75 of them. And nobody wins with it. Nobody wins with it.
That's the flipping. Oh no, that's not. That's something else. Yeah, I know what it is. I know what you're talking about, where you pile drive yourself. I understand.
Yeah.
But
Lawler, Lawler had a good pile driver.
I got pile driven by Jerry Lawler, actually.
Oh, really?
I did, and it was amazing. Yeah, it was quite. That put me out. I lost that night for sure. Who else? You know who else has an amazing pile driver on TV today is Eric Young. He finished
Yes.
pile driver. Also, the man who trained Jake O'Reilly passed on that
Yes.
that awesome skill. But to be the pile driver, man, I'll tell you, when done correct, like think of Paul Orndorff's pile driver though. Come on, man. Like,
so good.
Amazing. I don't okay, remember Colonel De Beers. Of course, we were talking about Colonel De Beers earlier this week, but he used to do a front style pile driver, and that's what he gave Jimmy Snuka on the floor in AWA at the end of AWA when they had their feud. And so he did like a straight pile driver, but then he'd come down face first. It was really interesting. You know, they did all the different spikes, all the different like. Would you consider the Steiner screwdriver a pile driver?
I don't know. I'd consider the spike pile driver by Arn and Tully definitely one.
Yeah,
that was done really well. It's probably a pile driver, the Steiner screwdriver.
I think so because it's in a suplex, and then it kind of ends up in a spike. But either way, the Rikishi drop, I guess, is another one which you didn't do too many more times or whatever he used to do.
Yeah.
But in my mind, number one, that's the end of the road, and if it's not, then you suck at giving pile drivers.
I like how they used to like ban it.
Yeah.
Like in some places they would like ban the pile driver. You know, in Tennessee they did it, and it was like it really made it seem like mysterious.
Yeah, for sure.
And dangerous, and really dangerous.
I think they did a gimmick in AAA a long time ago when Art Barr and Eddie Guerrero were teaming, and the pile driver was outlawed, but then Art Barr had slid in on one of Eddie's matches and pile driven when the referee wasn't looking. Dynamite. Right? So I do like when there's things like that where they ban certain things and then they use it during the match, and it's fantastic stuff. But to me, like honestly, a pile driver's end of the line, man. Doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah.
How about you?
What's not? I mean, I didn't even come up with a list. I was listening to your list.
Is this all about me?
Yeah, this is kind of all about you. I'm going to acquiesce to the master. So, what's number 2?
I got number 2 here. Then it's the Splash. Splash. Okay, so we're talking Kamala doing the splash just off the ropes. We're talking Snuka with that, taking the business to another level. The thing about guys like Snuka too is like you think about the agility. Like the dude was he had to be 230, legitimate.
Oh, he was
he's flying around like a lightweight. It's just so impressive, right? Him in the air is just something else. It's just something else.
Yeah.
Then you get the Guerrero's frog splash, and then of course RVD's frog splash. Like it has to be a finish. It has to be a finish in my book.
I got to go with the 747.
Yeah.
One man gang. Because he was just so big. Bundy did a good splash.
That's right.
As a really big guy. I love a big guy like doing the splash. Like I think to me is like. Because it's like it's the old if you're 450 and you're lying on the ground and you drop all that onto somebody, that's the end. That's it. It's over. You're not getting up.
That's right. And then of course how that's evolved right into all these other flippity dippity D's that like the 450 and I guess it would be what's his name? Too Cold Scorpio did the first 450 if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? Oh no, didn't Scott Steiner do it?
I'm not
sure. I think Scott Steiner did one.
It might have been him. I mean, Too Cold Scorpio.
Scorpio did it, but I think Steiner did it. I'm not.
Yeah.
You can Google or you can go on YouTube and find that.
There's also the Shooting Star Press, which is a form of a splash.
Yeah.
Which, like Kidman did it, but it wasn't the same as when like Brock tried it because it was like Jesus.
Well, I think Brock landed it a bunch of times, and just that one time was. But.
Oh.
Are you kidding? Is he here?
He is. He is. He made it. We're wearing the same shirt.
I
love
just
it.
hope y'all didn't think y'all was doing this by yourselves.
No. I knew you'd be done. I knew you'd be ready.
Yeah. Well, how
George,
you
we're
doing,
both.
Sunshine? I love to see your face, Tornado.
Hey, man, you're looking good. Did you drop a ton of weight? Are you getting prettier or what?
You know what's funny? I have.
You
And it's
look
going.
amazing, man. You look
Look,
amazing.
I'm back into the water. I'm doing it the big way. So hey, look, we're doing it all the healthy ways. I'm lifting again. I'm having a good
Fantastic.
time. I'm having a great time in the
I
gym.
got to let you know today, October the 1st, right? In 1972, October the 1st, CBC, which is our network up here, debuted the Beachcombers. Okay. The Beachcombers started 52 years ago today. So it was a holiday today. I took the day off. You know, you don't know what the Beachcombers is, but you come to Canada, I'll teach it all. You'll learn it all about.
I feel like I
It's a
gotta come to Canada now because there's so much stuff I gotta learn.
That's right.
I have a lot of deep history in Canada that I can learn from folks. So I'm quite interested.
Right on.
it's the Beachcombers. It's like I you won't get it, but it's just classic Canadian television.
Yeah, bad
Just so
acting,
classic.
bad music, bad everything, and I love it. You just love it. You just sit
Some
there.
people like terrible TV.
Lots of hairy
That's just it.
chests. It's fantastic.
Hey, some people
But
like their TV.
so George, we were Tornado's given his first two favorite finishing holds, and number one was the pile driver. Obviously, yes. Even though nobody wins with it anymore, except Eric Young. Eric Young does.
Yeah, but
And then
they
number
suck at it. They don't know how to do it, and I'll teach them. If they have the money, I'll teach them.
There's only a few pile drivers that people can actually perform that would actually look good enough to finish somebody. So I'd rather you not
Yeah.
fuck it up completely every time than just because look at the super kick. That's dead. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you look at Shawn Michaels and his super kick, it kind of made it to where nobody's finishing with it anymore. You got Jey Uso and the everybody seems to do one. Everybody does a spear. Everybody does pretty much every move that you can think of in the same match. And these are all different wrestlers. These are 6 different matches with 9 different super kicks. So I don't think that we're kind of getting anywhere with that. That's why I'm glad we're talking about finishers that actually stick.
I
Because
always say though that if you take a move that has history like that, and someone kicks out of it, then me as a layman look at that and say, you don't do a very good super kick, do you? Or, you know what I mean? Because it's just whatever. If that's your transition, then holy shit, do you have a gun in your pocket to finish them off? Like,
right? Because that's gonna be next.
That's all I got. You that bad that you can't win with a super kick. So that's how I look at it. So if I'm talking,
and
go ahead.
And number 2, George, was the splash. So we talked about Jimmy Snuka. We talked about the frog splashes. I, of course, mentioned all the big monsters. We mentioned Kamala did a good splash. One Man Gang, Bundy.
Val Venus.
Val Venus was 100%. The money shot.
The money shot was great. I love the money shot. It was very classic, and it was very. That's the end of it.
D'Lo Brown.
D'Lo's frog splash was nice. I love this,
especially because they were big.
Yeah.
Val and D'Lo were pretty big guys doing that. That was what made Val was jacked. He was almost like that Snuka size, just yoked to the gills and just jumping off the top rope.
That's impressive for sure.
So Mark, Tornado? What's number 3? What do we got?
At the end of this, I have some moves that I felt transitioned the sport. So we'll get to that after. See, I got a pen too. Look, see, we got a pen.
That's dangerous.
It doesn't work. Figure 4 leg lock.
There we go.
I felt like it was coming. I felt like that was coming.
It had to be.
It has to be there because not only is it a move that can only be reversed one way, but when somebody's in Canada, we had this thing called international wrestling, and we had, by the way, Richard Charland did a great pile driver. So it's Canadian wrestling. But there was Dino Bravo used to do the figure 4. And then what so like everybody in a federation had the figure 4 guy, right? And then if there was a heel, then the baby would always end up putting it on him, and it was just always, it was great seeing the heel get stuck in his own hold, right? And we just talked about Magnum TA and Ric Flair at that AWA pay-per-view or whatever the hell they call it, and Magnum snapped it onto Flair, right? And it was awesome. It was just the crowd loved that the heel got caught in his own trap,
Flair obviously did a good one. I always remember the figure 4 too, growing up, as when Tito Santana and Greg Valentine had a feud.
That's right.
They both used the figure 4, and it was they both did it well. I loved it. It was a cool move. I do like the I don't mind when Charlotte kind of did it, transition to the figure 8 and kind of put that twist on it where she can do that. I didn't mind that much, but I do like how it's reversed, and that's why I love Flair, because he's not only the best putting it on offensively, but when he's on defense, he's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it's good
when they reversed on Flair,
storytelling hold too, right? Because you get to wear the man down and work that leg and get those chop blocks in there and stretch that leg out until you're ready to pounce. It's fantastic, and
I like it.
And it hurts like hell. And it hurts like hell too, right?
I mean, I like the way he worked it in. I think, he set up a lot of his matches to where he was working that leg, like you say. He was working those elbows. He was working every joint that you had in there to let you know that once he put that figure 4 in, that's it, son. It ain't no coming out of it. And I think a lot of people want to mimic it, but that's one that you just can't mimic. It has a certain, if I can say this, no pun intended, flair about it that only certain people can do. And I think that's one of the moves that you really just can't take and be like, oh, I'm gonna just do the figure 4. You gotta do it right, son. And there's only one way to work it.
Even Dusty used to break out an ugly one. I don't even know how he put it on. He didn't do the spin. He just tied the legs up and laid down.
Yeah, nah. The spin was almost everything with it.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Rock's sharpshooter. It was just kind of like,
exactly.
Not a good one. Not a good one.
No.
So Tornado number 4. We got the figure 4 for number 3. What's number 4?
And this is something that I've been praying for and I wish for, because it should be there. A knockout punch. Okay. Like somebody should, because that's legit, right? Like Mike Tyson killed like 16 people in under a minute or whatever with the fucking knockout punch. There should be a knockout punch.
The last person I remember was the Big Show. Given the
I got 100%.
Yeah,
but there should be a knockout punch. Because who hasn't been?
Logan Paul kind of does it.
Who hasn't been knocked out? In a real fight. That's just like the thing. There's no suplexes in a real. Well, I guess there could be.
Like
only if you're one of the beach combers.
And that's the one that you can. And the knockout punch is like, it's solid. It's also one of the more unpredictable moves because you can catch that knockout punch at any point in time. Right. And I feel like with the move that unpredictable, it could be just as exciting as any move that you can do, even more. Like, the RKO has its pop because, of course, you can come out of anywhere with it. Or, Shawn Michaels super kick half the time, or, reversing something that everybody's seen before all the time. It's just one of those moves that, like I say, if you feel the necessary need to punch a motherfucker in the face and finish him, you can go ahead and do that. And there's not enough people, willing to do that. I feel like there's not enough people who can throw a good enough punch.
That's it.
That's the law.
That's it.
It's you have to be able to complete the whole motion. And the Big Show, he kind of set it up for everybody. Look, this is exactly how you throw a fucking punch. And that's the last motherfucker who was actually throwing them. So I say, not everybody. It's like one of those, moves that you can't just do. You have to have it right. And if you can't throw a punch,
that's right.
Johnny B. Bad did it. Do you remember Johnny B. Bad? Yeah. He threw it because he had a boxing background. He did it. Murdoch didn't have a knockout punch, but there are a couple times he threw punches and kind of knocked dudes out, and it worked. Is a heart punch considered
it could be. So but I'll tell you,
the great Ox Baker.
I think of like a guy who could throw a good punch, and just the way that you could, hit the ropes, do whatever you're doing, and the guy cocks his fist back, and you see it as a heel just and grab it, get the hell out, because that punch could come from. You can come off the top rope, and he'd punch you in the head and it's over. You know what I mean? Like it's just something in the setup of the punch. So in international wrestling, of course, I'll get back to that. There's Gino Brito Jr. Was feuding with Rocky De La Sera. Rocky De La Sera was like a flamboyant. They're all out of shape too, so it's really funny. But and then Brito was training with a boxing trainer named. He was an amateur boxer of some sort in Canada, and they taught him the anchor punch, which is literally just a punch, but instead of coming like a jab, you come off to the side, and it just had a different setup. So it was just like you could do whatever, but as soon as the guy hit the ropes and he went to the side and it looked like he was cocking it back, they stopped and ran away like he had a grenade. You know what I mean? And it just made for easy. Like it was an easy story to tell, and then when it finally landed, holy Jesus, you know, it was a knockout punch, right? Dude's out, you know. And
you could do it.
You don't get that excitement from like a UFC fight when the guys, you know, are you ready? You ready? Let's go, and then they just collide and one guy just drops. You know what I mean? Like there's that excitement of a Mike, like an early Mike Tyson fight, you know, where it's like a minute in and drops him. You know,
there's nothing like that though. Like,
no.
I mean, Mike Tyson is a hard comparison to a lot of people, and that's even boxers. Like, I watched Mike Tyson fights from back in the day, and I'm like, if I got hit by that motherfucker, I'm calling my fucking lawyer. Nah, he can't be doing that shit to me. Yeah. I'm calling somebody. Yeah. But it's a unique style of punch. It's a unique style of finisher. I think that's why we're here, because we kind of want to discover the lost arts of certain things. I feel like we brought you here because that perspective of what finishers look like from an actual wrestler to kind of give that perspective to, like, I pay respect to these types of finishers. I want to hear that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm thinking I couldn't miss this show. I don't know if John explained to you what happened to me before I got here, but you know,
I heard.
Neither here nor there. But at the same time, I knew I couldn't miss this one because I'm thinking to myself, like, some of my favorites could be in here, but at the same time, I'm really curious to see exactly what you feel like is a great finisher to kind of top things off.
Yeah. Also, I like the punch too, because if you're smart, it's you can just work a whole match around the hand. Just your heel stomps the hand, and you know, like when you throw that, he can't throw it and hurt you as much, or it's simple
or something, or you know, something.
Exactly.
That, you know, fucks up his hand to where he has to wrap it or something like that, and then it becomes like
Hacksaw did it in WCW. He used to wrap his hand in the ring.
He did.
Who did that?
Hacksaw.
Sorry?
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
That's right.
And he'd take up the tape and wrap his hand and then drop it.
And if there's anybody like a knockout punch, that dude's hands were.
I think he knocked me out. I think that happened. Did he not knock me out before? I think it happened.
He may have wanted to. Maybe after seeing those yellow tights.
Yeah, I don't remember.
His hands were monstrous. Oh my God, just meat hooks. Anyway, the fifth one, number 5, Mark, Tornado. Where are we going? Number 5.
This is not only like moves, but also my wish list. That's why I left another little bit at the bottom here, which is my my transition.
Honorable.
I'm gonna say this. Okay. My last dying wish for pro wrestling, a foreign object finish, and I'm gonna throw in there a slash DQ finish, man. I want a DQ finish. I want the champion to walk out with his belt, get counted out, kick the ref in the nuts, get caught with the weapon, but he keeps his belt and walks out still the champion, loses the match, just to make everybody mad.
The most notorious person I can think of right now, off the top of my head, personally, and this is just me, this is my history, is Hulk Hogan. Hollywood Hulk Hogan was notorious for that shit. He held that belt hostage for the longest time off of just anything happening, whether it was Macho running in and he was gonna use something that he used, or the outsiders come in and they kind of bring a weapon in and he uses that, and he just he gets away with it every time. There's always that, and I ain't gonna lie, I love that. I do, because I'm not gonna lie, because it kind of brings a prestige to the title, because I will do anything not to lose this motherfucker. That's all I can see. That's all I can see out of a person like that. And then, of course,
Yeah.
if you're willing to do that, how grimy are you? Because
I
you know
love
the
it.
rules of the match. How grimy are you? I'm looking for that. I'm looking for that DQ finish. I'm looking for that foreign
Oh.
object entrance. Like, I love that.
So
My favorite.
Lord Steven Regal used to do the brass knuckles.
Oh,
all
the
the time.
brass, yes.
So just it's been done, and I think it could be a full out deal, and especially with the you combine that with the
With the
getting
knockout punch. I
And
think that's
I love
that's
what you
a
said.
combo.
Keep the belt hostage. That is heat seeking kind of. That's what you need today because that would piss everybody on the internet off beautifully.
Mhm.
My favorite. He didn't use it as a finisher, but still was Savage a few times in the '80s, and he won the Intercontinental title. Was when he pulled the fucking gimmick out of his tights, and he did the same finish a couple times. He did it once against Tito, and I think he did it once against somebody else. And the guy would pick him up in a back suplex. He'd pull out of the tights and just boom.
Yeah, that was Tito
Yeah.
having the back suplex, so from the inside out back in, and he clubbed.
Yeah, but
It's just
I think
hiding the gimmick and hiding the weapon and doing that whole shtick. It's just that's a lost art. That is a total. Considering now, if you watch TV, there's no real heels or faces, really.
No.
I was literally just talking to this man about how everybody flip flops to go ahead and make their career pop. And it's just weird because, of course, 2 weeks later, if you're a heel, like it's so bad to me that I watched John Cena be a heel for 6 months and then come out and be like, you know what? Nobody likes this, and I'm not gonna do it anymore. And I'm like, this is fucking stupid. So it's not convincing by any mark. I feel like there's a lot of lost things that are done today that are really for the pomp and circumstance that aren't enough actually wrestling. I feel like
for sure.
If you had a wrestling match, I wonder which one you would actually pick to actually watch, because when I say this, I say there's always these large cards of wrestling matches they have for these PLEs or pay-per-views, if you know them as we know them, but it's literally maybe one match on each card that you're willing to watch, and that ain't even the main event. And that's what I'm understanding nowadays. That's kind of becoming a common thing. You're watching the whole show for the show, but you're watching one match for that match. And it's all. And me and John seem to kind of come to a conclusion all the time. If we decide to watch one, we always seem to kind of come up on the same conclusion as far as the match being the one match that was good that entire night, and everything else was pretty much okay. It was just not necessarily something that you would come back to. So I think having better finishers, having better matches, and not having people
protecting finishers,
like
finishers, like making a finish a finish. That's the thing that they did back in the day. Every finish that Mark talks about, or every finish that he's talking about, like back in the day, was protected. Like you didn't you didn't just get up out of it. Now they kick it at everything.
But you didn't see it anywhere else on the card.
Yes, not everybody did it. That's what's annoying.
On the card, nobody's doing a splash from the top rope as a finish, right? Or anywhere. It's just easy storytelling for even the audience, for the confusion of the audience. That's why when I see somebody kick out of a pile driver nowadays, I just said the guy who gave it sucks at it.
There is one person who does a splash, but it's the one. So it's the newer thing nowadays is to repeat the fucking move 50 fucking times.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's what's taking a lot of these shits away too. Like the suplex would have so much more oomph about it if it was that one. Like Goldberg used to do that one solid suplex, not even a jackhammer, but he would lift you up and just hold you there. Him, Bobby Lashley, giving you the strength. I have the power to go ahead and do this. The doing it multiple times just means I don't even have enough to do it one time to actually be a finisher to me. Mm-hmm. And so like you have what's his name, the fat guy, Bronson Reed, who does the splash.
He does a good splash. He does a good splash.
Umaga. I took it.
That's the one. There's some splashes out there that get done, but I just think that his is one of those that are a little bit overdone sometimes, but they do it in the sense of he's really trying to hurt you with his splashes. So it's not just the one splash. It's like, I'm going to keep splashing you until
So I get sorry, George, he did that to whoever it was, Seth Rollins, and I understood at the time. He does a good splash. Umaga did a great splash. Jacob Fatu does a really good splash.
Yeah.
Like, but Bronson Reed definitely, and just because he's so huge, like he looks like
Yeah.
a dude that should have wrestled in the '80s. But Tornado. So you had other transitions, honorable mentions. Hit him. What do we?
Well, these are moves I think that took wrestling into it. Could it be the next level or not? It's up to you how you feel. Number one on my list is the power bomb. Right? The power bomb.
One of the greatest finishes in the world, in my
You know
opinion.
what I mean?
I'm not gonna lie.
Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite power bomber?
First time when you were a kid, and it's just like, what the hell was that? Right? And it looks so devastating and so crazy. And then you got the Liger bombs and all these other kind of variations.
All the variations,
people,
yeah.
But I'll tell you, man. Well, I got to say, Kevin Nash's jackknife was my favorite. So fluid.
It's
so
just
fluid and
he was so
giant.
big with it. It made him look good and it made you fly in a sense. Like the one that comes to mind automatically, which was my first love for it, was the when he jackknifed Eric Bischoff off the stage.
Yeah.
That was the perfect jackknife because he threw him just so, and you can see Eric's body just go. And I was just like, I don't think he's getting up from that.
And then another variation of that is the Razor's Edge, right? It's just
absolutely
beautiful move. Look, and it is a finish. It has to be a finish. Good God,
And people like working with it, from what I understand. They were like, that's one of the safest finishes that I've ever actually had taken. I've heard that a lot about the Razor's Edge.
Well, it's probably the guy giving it. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. I don't think they can be mimicked.
Vader and Sid both did good power bombs.
Yeah.
They made WCW made a movie about it. Remember they were a tag and they made that mini movie. But Vader and Sid, to me, when I think Sid was the first guy I remember seeing do the power bomb as a kid. I think the first guy I remember doing it was Sid.
Yeah, that move just kind of took everything to the next level. Like as far as strength, the height of the guy doing the move,
the impact,
the distance, the impact. Yeah, so like by doing the sit out version, you can take away a smaller guy now can do a power bomb because he's not, doing stuff. He's not doing the big movement, right? It's like fast, sharp.
Malenko did a good one. Malenko did a really good power bomb.
Oh my God, he killed. Like there's ones where he looks like he's killing Ray in WCW.
He did the one from the top rope at Halloween Havoc '96. Power. It was
Candido. Wasn't Chris Candido's finish from the top?
Yeah, it was the top rope power bomb too. He did a really good power bomb.
Yeah.
So
that's that one. Next up is the moonsault, baby. The moonsault, like just just takes wrestling into that. Wrestling's different now after this move. It's just different.
It wouldn't be the same.
It wouldn't be the same. And we're talking as far back as Lanny Poffo doing one, right?
Yeah.
Like
Chavo Guerrero, I think, was the first guy to ever do the moonsault.
And then Muda, of course. Muda
was the guy.
Seeing like the whole presentation against Sting was like fantastic. And then that moonsault, it was just unbelievable. And then of course Vader throwing the moonsault out there, Bam Bam Bigelow throwing the moonsault out there.
Hugh Morris.
It just and then
Hugh Morris.
Hugh Morris. Jericho's, right? A variation, all the variations. And then the standing, which is impressive.
Now, the standing is one that I cannot see many people doing, but I would love to, because there's not a lot of people who do it anymore at all. I don't see that from men at all. Now, the women seem to kind of have developed a natural knack for certain moves. And I think I'm noticing something. The women do more of the basic structured moves. You can see more of a DDT in a women's wrestling match versus in a men's wrestling match today, which is kind of weird. But at the same time, that's another finisher that I feel like that doesn't get enough actual shine. Like nobody really does a good DDT anymore. Like the last good DDT died with Jake the Snake. And I think that was just kind of...
That was my next one, by the way. That was my next thing, was the DDT.
DDT. That's the one for me that really... They put the boots to that finisher. Um,
When that's applied properly, it looks devastating.
Arn Anderson did a great
the only
DDT.
thing that you can kick out, if you can kick out of that, then the guy giving you the DDT sucks. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
He's not
Cody
good.
Deaner does a great. Cody Deaner with us does a great DDT.
Raven, right?
Raven did a good one.
Even flow, yes.
And then Mick Foley had the variation with the double underhook. Yeah, just awesome stuff out there if it's done properly. But yeah, Cody, trust me, I've been knocked out by Cody Deaners many times.
I look at the DDT. I'm like, you take it. If I grab your head and just drop down with you, it's like that's over. I mean, I think people, that's one that I think people should use as a finish again.
And growing up, I remember like when Jake would tease it, and then you'd almost get it, and then the guy would slide out or whatever. Just like that was the first like finish I remember getting teased. I don't remember anybody really teasing, any other finish up to that moment where they'd be doing something, Buddy'd go for a backdrop and he'd hook it, and then the guy he hooked would slide out, and Jake would be like, "Oh, I almost got you," and then you're waiting to see it and that's the first time I remember seeing somebody, like sneak out of a finish and tease it, and then when he drops it, you're really excited to see this guy get dropped on his skull,
So the DDT, what's next, Tornado?
Are you speechless, George?
So the one thing about planting somebody's head into the ground is you got to make sure their feet go up. They have to sell it. And I see a lot of DDTs that look like they're sandbagging a lot of times. I think that is a portion of why nobody really does a DDT anymore. It's nobody can take it either. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, I feel like there's a lot of lost moves because there's not a lot of good performers. So
it could be.
I know one guy who takes it
because you're not allowed to defend your finish, right? So it's like telling Andre the Giant what to do. He'd freaking smack the shit out of you, right? So like you can't really protect your image anymore, and you're not allowed to stand up for yourself anymore, or else you're on the internet and people are calling you a bully or whatever. Like I can't imagine that. Wrestling and not being able to be in charge of what is marketable,
right?
Yeah,
and then it gets taken away from you. It's just like I don't. That's a tough one for me. But that's why I'm a dinosaur, and it doesn't matter. Don't listen to me, kids. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. I always tell the young guys that when they're like, "So what should I do?" And I'm like, "Don't listen to me. I'm not going to tell you anything that's going to help you in modern wrestling. I'm going to tell you some stupid old crap that doesn't matter anymore."
Right, and as soon as you get up there, they're like, "That's outdated, and you can't do that anymore." And where's your super kick? And nobody wants.
Yeah.
How's your super kick?
Yeah, slap your leg. I've never slapped my leg ever. By the way, ever. I would rather freaking quit than slap my leg. Makes me sick.
Next up, you got another one, Mark?
Well, the DDT was my last one of these movements that just like were finishes, but to me changed the game. They changed the way the business is run. Tornado DDTs, right? All types of DDTs out of nowhere. I would put the cutter in that category.
Yeah.
Which
the Frankensteiner.
Sure. Oh yeah, man. Fuck Frankensteiner. But I have some pet peeves though, because I've been watching some old wrestling again, and you had big shows with big main events from the 80s, let's say early 80s into close to the 90s, and nowadays the way things are booked and the way the time is slotted, with that lack of feeling out the opponent, like you're not allowed to work each other and see where they're going, and rough around, get the characters moving, get everything moving. Just like in a UFC fight, like if they're just bobbing and weaving for the first little bit, it might be a little boring, but it's part of the chess that's being played for the end. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's that wearing down. You pick the body part, you work it, like and it you can build the crowd's anticipation this way, and with that missing, so now it's just ding ding ding, everybody runs into each other and does stuff, and it means nothing. And this guy does 3 things. The other guy does 3 things. The other guy does 3 things. You know, where instead
They
of
start flipping and shit back and forth.
Sure,
There's
it
no
means-
tie up. There's
it means
no grip, and there's no power struggle. There's
Yes.
no setup
Yeah,
for the
that's
wrestling.
beautiful.
There's
Yeah.
literally no power struggle at all. You know exactly what's gonna happen because everybody's moves are literally planned already.
Yeah.
I hate it because it's like he's gonna do a super kick from this corner. He's gonna fly off of that corner. He's gonna run up in here and he's gonna come back and he's gonna sit down and he's gonna take an ass to the face because Rikishi used to do that and that's his uncle. And then all of a sudden everybody's gonna do like it's just so everything is so repetitive and clocked. It's just like
Yeah.
I can almost plan when somebody's gonna break into these matches because it's the same shit. Y'all got the same finish to 4 different shows. I watched Monday Night Raw 1 week, and I looked at Twitter every week after that. For 4 weeks straight, they had the same finish. Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker in the ring beating up one of the Usos, and here comes Roman Reigns. It happened 4 times. I was like, who the fuck are y'all fooling? Like,
Yeah.
if I was to pay my bills, pay my cable for you to sit up there and show me the same show for a fucking month, I'd call you and beat your ass.
Yeah.
Because what are you doing? This is not progressive. Like, if y'all, and one thing I don't like is the fact that there's so much part-time wrestling. It makes me fucking sick because at the same time, back in the day, we had wrestlers who wouldn't get off the fucking clock.
Yeah.
I don't
They
know
were always on the road.
like Ric Flair, they say he won't die, but some people just won't, and that's the long part. That's the thing. Some people just won't give it up.
And I think it's why the guys back then were just the wrestlers were kind of they were better because they worked all the time. And I know it's tough on the body, and I understand that, but I'm just like you. Like I just see today. It's like you're right. Like Roman Reigns will show up this week, and then 4 weeks later, it's like they're just playing for a pop. That's you know. But I have a couple.
It's like playing music though, right? Like if you're going and playing every night and you're practicing your craft every night, guess what? In 10 years, you're the man, right? You're so polished as an act, you can tell your story a million different ways. When you're doing part-time wrestling or you're wrestling your friends or the same guys who were trained with you, then you're never going to get any better, you know. And so many people I see come out of, let's say, the NXT program, and then they go to the main roster and they don't nothing's changed. They're not going to get better because they're wrestling their peers. You know, I don't know if it's a thing where you send certain guys to Japan for a year, or you send them to Mexico now that they have a foothold in Mexico, or do something else for a while and then come back. You know, like go out and get seasoned. Don't just do your routine. You know, but I think that's what WWE is, though. Okay, WWE is like going to see AC/DC in concert. They're not going to play the new stuff. They're going to give you the hits, man, right? Because people get mad if they don't hear the hits. So
Yeah,
because nothing clears out a fucking concert like this is a song off our new album, you know, and then everybody goes to the bathroom. It's that or the drum solo, one of the two. But like I'll tell you, man, that's what I think this is. It's just like a greatest hits compilation, and you go out and you get the greatest hits, and you know that's all you get. Instead of telling a story and making kids cry or doing something shocking that people would, you know, because I think wrestling should be disturbing. There should be that act of being disturbed, and I mean Undertaker disturbing. I don't mean like Bray Wyatt disturbing, because Bray Wyatt I never bought it because he was good on the mic. But when he got in the ring, he did tackle, drop down, hip toss spots, in my opinion. Like he didn't wrestle like a crazy man. He wrestled like a guy who was trained at the NXT center, you know, in my opinion.
Yeah. I got a couple of moves I want to throw on there. One is the lariat or the clothesline, like when it's done with a finish. Like obviously Hansen did it. Duggan did a clothesline, did the 3-point stance clothesline.
JBL.
It was always good. JBL, of course, did it. They're a really good one. I always like a good clothesline. The full Nelson,
Russian sickle,
the Russian sickle, Nikita, yeah. The full Nelson. I always like the full Nelson because it was one of the moves Like I liked even when they did it with Chris Masters. They did the Master Lock Challenge. At least they got the move over. Hercules and Billy Jack Haynes is one of my favorite undercard matches.
Finish. Like when a man that size is strapping it on, you're not going anywhere. You know?
Warlord did it. I remember Warlord and Davey Boy had a feud over it. Where could Davey Boy break the full Nelson?
Hercules.
Hercules. It was always these yoked dudes who did it, and it was just. But it was one of those moves like, can you get out of it? Can you break it? And you can't. And I just think it's something that still works today because I think it's a submission hold that can, if you get the right guy, they can bring it back with. So I've always been a fan of the full Nelson. And
camel clutch, baby. The camel clutch. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I loved when the Sheik did it, like the Iron Sheik. I loved, and the original Sheik did it.
Yeah.
So I love both of theirs. I loved when Slaughter did it when he was a heel.
Yeah.
With the, so yeah, the camel clutch.
Yeah, curly boots. I want the curly boots.
Oh, one day, Sheik Adnan El Tornado will be.
It's coming.
George, are there any moves? Are there any ones that you think that aren't used today that were used back in the day, that could make a comeback?
The big boot. No one used the big boot like they should anymore. I think the last person who really had a really good big boot was Hogan, because he would slow it down and hit you with it. Versus, it was like a finisher setup for him. But I think the fact that he, you knew that you couldn't get up from that for the leg drop. It was like I say, a perfect setup. Nobody really does a really good big boot. Like Kane did a big boot for a while. The Big
Undertaker did one.
Undertaker did one. The Giant, not the Big Show, but the Giant did a better big boot than a lot of other folks back then.
They kind of do it. Yeah, they kind of do it though. The Claymore and the Bro Kick are a little bit more like modern.
Variation.
Like it's not this. Yeah, it's a variation of it.
I would say the Claymore is more of a drop kick because he comes flying with both feet. Now, if you just get hit with one, that's just your prerogative. But I feel like that's more of a drop kick simply because it's more like a standing drop kick than anything. So I want to give that big boot action because, of course, with standing drop kicks, that's, both feet off the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The big boot.
I like the big boot, man. Like, I think of Nord the Barbarian or
Nord the Barbarian, definitely.
He used to tie the guy up in the ropes and then go run from one side to the other and give him the big
boot. And
good Lord.
Anybody getting up from that?
No.
Like, you just ran up and kicked me in the fucking face. I don't got much. I don't got much after that.
So, remember when he was remember the berserker? He was a berserker and his move was tossing the guy with the top rope.
There you go.
I mean,
and he tried to kill the Undertaker. He tried to stab him.
To stab him with a sword. He was Nord the Barbarian. But I think the problem it's one of the problems I have with modern wrestling is just the finisher is just a lot of people use the same stuff. It's the same moves, and Tornado, you mentioned about like guys going to Japan. It's like that whole thing. It's like it's the same people all the time for decades.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the WWE, you think about it, it's like Bob Orton had like a 3 or 4 year run, and then he was gone. And then they brought somebody else in. Well, like guys have been in the WWE for 20 years doing the same stuff, and it's just like I just don't think they recycle the talent, the wrestlers enough. Like
it's like they're cheese, though, right? Like they get better with age, they think, but I think the people they get over with the people. So you get a guy like The Miz, he hasn't really improved other than on the mic. Physically, he hasn't improved. He hasn't improved with his movement.
He hasn't.
But he's been there so long. He's like cheese. He starts to taste good, and people like, "Oh, hey, look, it's the cheese. It's nice to see him. He's still here." Right?
How come you ain't tell me how good the cheese was? One move I want to kind of throw out there that people really don't do these days, and I just kind of thought about it. Nobody gives a good elbow drop anymore either. I think that
Eric Young, it's not a finish, but he gives the most beautiful since like Shawn Michaels' elbow.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
No.
I can give
Punk
that
does
to you.
it sometimes. Punk does
Some-
it sometimes.
But it's not his finisher.
You're right.
It's not a
That's not
finish.
his finisher.
Oh man, and when you look at that, at the way Randy Savage landed that elbow,
Boy,
like there was
Yeah.
there's no room. There's no room.
boy.
Nobody else
Like-
should do it. No,
No,
Mm-mm.
sir. Yeah, that's a good one, man.
Like he gave you straight bicep and elbow, and I think there's not enough people who are willing to give that and take that. So
DiBiase used to do that backwards one off the second.
he
mhm.
never hit it.
Never hit.
He may have hit it once.
Yeah,
Bret Hart had a nice elbow. I liked his second.
the
It's,
point elbow.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. My knees
I always
hurt
like.
every time I see
Austin
it.
did one too. Austin did.
Yeah,
Yeah, my
but the
knees
only one that
watching that.
like Savage is one of the only guys who really did it as a finish, like
And it
and,
looked
and
like
really
Man, it looked like a
and
finish.
got it over. Like yeah,
Shawn Michaels would sell it as a finish some matches, but he wouldn't do it as often as he would the super kick. I think it was just easier to do the super kick rather than take the body punishing from jumping off that top rope doing that elbow drop, especially with his back. So yeah, I can see
You
why.
look at the super kick too, right? Like it just. What was I watching? Stan Lane, Sweet Stan Lane, and from the Midnight Express. when the
Yeah.
Fabulous comes. I'm telling you, like his super kick was devastating. Who else was that? The Englishman from USWA, Chris Adams or Chris? Yeah, Chris Adams.
Chris Adams. Yes,
Crazy.
he was the first guy to really do it. Yeah,
yeah, as a finish, because Michaels and
Yeah.
Jannetty used to do it in the tag matches, but it was just like a little setup thing to something else. They do it double, right?
yeah. Haku would finish guys with a kick. I would
right.
consider that.
Yeah,
It may not be. I call it a super kick because when Haku's throwing it, it's gonna be. A
I
super
mean,
kick.
you get kicked in the side of the head like that. That's a super kick, goddamn.
For sure. Savat kick.
Yeah. The Spine Busters one that I think would be a cool. Like I know somebody like nobody does it like Arn or Ron Simmons. Like those like
D'Lo
those
had,
Spine. But
D'Lo had the Sky High, which was like a variation of it.
Batista
Yeah.
Spine
It looked
Buster was
amazing.
okay.
That guy's so
It was-
underrated. Like so much talent. And it was timing. Like I put him and Perry Saturn in that timing mode where everything they did looked good. Everything they did,
Yeah.
like
yeah,
Perry Saturn would pop out these freaking moonsaults and shit. I'm like, what the hell's going
The
on?
Death
here?
Valley Driver.
Yeah, yeah.
That's another move that you really don't see a lot of people do, or
Yeah.
even try to take into as a finisher. Because as soon as he put them hands in the air, that
Yeah.
was it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lost finisher that's easy to do. Now John Cena does have the AA, but I just don't think that that's a variation. Let's be honest.
yeah. It's a,
The Death Valley Driver that would drive people's neck into the fucking
Man,
mat.
that's just more of a fireman's carry.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really just I'm showing you how strong I am.
The
and I can
atomic
toss you.
fireman's carry. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you on D'Lo though. D'Lo is one of those underrated guys who just everything he did looked good. He had a good punch. He threw a good punch. And he was a big guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
he could
definitely-
sell. Like D'Lo's selling was actually pretty goofy good. Like he could sell, make himself look loopy, and then come out of it and still be D'Lo. And it's just he could do a little bit of everything perfect. If you like you say, if he was a timing kind of guy, so he was just like a little bit of everything was perfect. So I enjoyed it a lot. So
Yeah.
D'Lo's definitely one of those guys.
And agile for a man his size, agile. Like that frog splash he did, he got deep. That freaking frog splash.
His legs were so wide. Like I was
Yeah.
just like, that's ballerina level, sir.
Yeah, that's right.
And he played defensive end for Maine University.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Like, yeah, he was a defensive end, and I think so. I think defensive lineman. But he was like 400 pounds at one point. Like if you watch him when he was in the Nation,
that's right.
when he wasn't like an official member, he was just one of the dudes in the suit, and he
Yeah.
was like 400 pounds, and he just but could still just move like
Yeah.
like a cat. Just another guy that like he did like was that kind of way that I always like that doesn't get enough credit to was Mr. Hughes. Like
Mm.
he was a good worker for a guy who was like 375 pounds. He could really move, and like really like so he was kind of this to me with like D'Lo, just another guy who just moved really fast.
Yeah.
Another defensive lineman.
Yeah. Hey, the claw hold. Right?
Ah,
Aaron Von Raschke, the Von Erich family.
Eric's.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it was over. Move was over again. Like kind of like as once he got it on, because the grips his grip strength was so good. He trained his hands and yeah, definitely the claw. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And another guy who did a big splash, I gotta say him is Gorilla. Did the big splash.
Oh,
If you ever
really?
watch Gorilla's? Yeah, and he said it one time. He's like to Jesse, he's like, "Yo, you didn't have a hole like that." And Gorilla's like, "Yeah, you were lucky. You were never the recipient of the big splash." Like, because you watch him do it on video, and he's like gets up really high because he was a super athletic guy, and he's enormous, so it just works. So
You ever saw Jerry Blackwell? Dude,
yes,
he barely gets off the ground. It's kind of funny, but he's so big it didn't matter. But because it was a finish anyways, just him laying on was the finish.
And we always like to do this. I know George and I have done this before, so I know Tornado. You and I talked this week about the WWE Vault put out Super Clash '85, which was the first AWA Super Clash, and some of these young people were like, "What the hell's the AWA?" If you get a chance, go watch it. Just because of the stars on it, like the level of like, just Ric Flair's in it, and like that match with Magnum TA. One match has like Scott Hall, Kurt Hennig, Nick Bockwinkel, just unbelievable stuff.
Yeah.
And I think on there too, WCW's there's some old fall brawls that they put on there. They got the one from '98, which is good. They have one from like '94, which is like Bunkhouse Buck and like all those guys from Robert Parker against like Dustin Rhodes, and the Nasty Boys.
Nice.
And elbows. I mean, if we're talking about elbows, I mean, it wasn't a flying elbow, but Dusty Rhodes may have thrown the best elbow.
For sure.
Like, just not only that one, but when he would set him up, he would just go. And it was just.
That was
perfect.
the Butcher's finish too, by the way. was elbow.
Another really good elbow.
Yeah, that was tight too.
So, yeah.
Abdullah.
Abdullah the
Oh my
Butcher.
God. Another. So Tornado. I mean, thank you. That's a fantastic list. That was a great list, and bring up the ones that change the business. Because you're right. Like, where would the business be without the moonsaults? Or like. And I always put the Frankensteiner in there too, also, like I said, because like everybody started to do it. But Scott Steiner doing it is just like he did it once with the.
Well, watching those pay-per-views, like you were saying, like seeing like a 230-pound Mike Rotundo throwing a beautiful drop kick, like wow, because now, first of all, wrestlers are much smaller. And they're doing little 1-foot drop kicks for some reason nowadays. Where these guys were freaking former, wrestling champions in university. They're big men or football players. And they're throwing beautiful, right on the spot, right on the kisser drop kicks, 2 feet right there, beautiful. Even Barry Windham for a guy who was like, was he 6'8"? What is it?
Oh, he was about 6'6". Yeah. Yeah,
that's a big,
Jim Brunzell always threw a good drop kick.
Yeah.
And he was like 235, and he got up there good. And Martel threw one as well.
Yeah. Oh, Ricky Martel. Ricky Martel. Put him in the Hall of Fame, please.
They should. I mean, he deserves it. But Steiner, I remember my favorite, not necessarily my favorite, but one of the most memorable Frankensteiners he did was in '93. He did it to Mike Enos, or one of the Beverly Brothers at the pay-per-view, and completely just right on his head, just took him over, no hands, jumped up and went, and Enos landed right directly on his skull.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, but just the sight of seeing a guy like 260 doing it was amazing.
Very impressive for sure.
Yeah.
But Bret Hart had a nice drop kick too, by the way. It looked like he was throwing his entire body at his opponent. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tornado, thank you again for joining us, George. I'm glad you made it. I'm glad
Yeah,
everything
man.
worked out and you were able to make it because it was a good evening, and we talked some great finishers. And
Happy
everyone, thanks for
Beachcomber
joining.
Day. Happy Beachcomber Day, everybody.
Yeah, to all who celebrate.
Alec and Jesse and all the gang down at Molly's Reach.
Yeah.
Well, hello.
And don't forget to watch Rock Solid Wrestling on Watchy TV.
That's right.
Tune in. You can tune in. George, even he's checked in from Texas. He's, I know Kareem's got it in Utah. We got a few people in the States
What have
watching.
you watched, George? Tell me, what have you seen?
I've only seen what John has sent me.
Okay.
And that's not very much.
Okay.
It's enough.
But
you have the app now, though? Did you download the app?
Who hasn't downloaded the app? If you haven't downloaded the app, you should.
Yeah, it's got a lot of great stuff. There's a lot of stuff. You may even see my mug on there once in the future.
You can see me losing to all these finishing holds we talked about.
Yeah, you can see. You could see him getting chopped by Ricky Steamboat.
Yeah.
Which was amazing. Who else was there anyone else that you got beat up by?
Hacksaw, but that wasn't filmed, I don't think.
Yeah, that was years ago.
I've taken all these things I got a big splash by Umaga. I got big booted by Test. I've been you name it.
Which one hurt the most?
Whoo! Nothing hurt, man. Everybody was
professionals.
Like Umaga's splash, the whole being the guy at the bottom, watching him come down and feeling the whole ring go up and down, and just the professionalism and the athleticism. And because I think pro wrestling is interesting, because if it connects, it doesn't look good.
No.
I always say that about JBL's lariat, right? His clothesline from hell. Like, if it looks like he's tearing the guy's head off, perfect. Then it's going to be nice and easy, and everybody's working together,
Right.
But if it looks like shit, that's when usually something happens. And
somebody's in pain.
Yeah,
somebody's in a lot of pain.
For sure.
Didn't you take a super kick? Oh, didn't you super kick? Did Chuck Palumbo do a super kick when he wrestled you?
Yeah, but that the funny thing about that was I did the week before I did because I got to actually do something instead of just jobbing. So I was on like the opening match, and I did a double springboard leg drop that got a good pop. And of course I didn't tell them what I was doing. I just said, I'm doing a leg drop. And they're like, yeah, okay, whatever. But I did this like double springboard thing and then dropped the leg. And then that week we wrestled the FBI. And of course I took the double springboard. Well, they didn't do the double springboard, but I took the same move. It was my own move. I took it the next week. So yeah, but those guys were good. Chuck Palumbo was a great professional wrestler. Big man, soft, like just looked great. Oh my God. Threw a cigar at me, hit me in the face. It was perfect.
What was the story? What was the one? I got to ask this one. The one time that didn't you get beat up by the APA?
Yeah. So we did a backstage promo where they were chasing the FBI, I guess, down, and it was done live too. And I think there was like me, Bobby Roode, Chris Canyon, Tyson Dukes, and someone else who we'll leave unnamed, who took the photos. But yeah. So I had to fist fight Farouk, and I was like, okay, here we go. I want that job eventually. And then, and once again, everything was beautiful and professional and felt like $1 million. And what was funny is there was a chair, so I was gonna try and hit the chair and tip it over so I didn't have to get up anymore. But I went in and hit the chair, and it kind of spun me right back into the action. I'm like, oh, here we go, going back.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
everybody made that whole escape plan that backfired.
That's right. Yeah, but yeah, lots of good stories, lots of great memories for sure.
That's awesome.
Just not too many
folks.
days.
Well, Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll have another episode coming. And thanks for joining us on 5 Count. Appreciate it.
Peace.